Welcome back to your favorite corner of the internet where we dive deep into everything happening in pop culture. And trust me when I say today's topic is going to blow your mind because we need to discuss Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber and the wild accusations that have surfaced about how the media has been handling their story. And if you're not already part of this amazing family, hit that subscribe button right now because we are creating something special here, and I want you right beside me for every twist and turn. So let me get straight into what is everyone buzzing right now because there is a video that has resurfaced and gone absolutely viral, and it involves claims about how tabloids have allegedly been manipulating stories about Justin and Hailey Bieber to paint them in a negative light, and the video in question was originally posted back in April, but suddenly it is everywhere again, and people cannot stop talking about it. The video features Candace Owens, who went through multiple headlines from the Daily Mail, all published within a 48-hour period, and pointed out a very specific pattern in how these stories were being framed. And the headlines she highlighted included things like Kendall and Kylie Jenner desperately trying to help Hailey and Justin amid split speculation, and another one discussing how Selena Gomez allegedly felt about Hailey's pursuit of Justin over the years. There was also a headline about Justin reacting to Hailey attending an event without him, which was supposedly connected to marriage troubles, and yet another story about Hailey skipping a red carpet despite having a VIP invitation, and all of this was being tied to rumors about problems in their relationship, and the video essentially argues that these headlines were coordinated and intentional. The main argument being presented is that someone powerful or some entity with deep pockets has been paying media outlets to push a specific narrative about the Bieber marriage being in trouble, and that this campaign has been relentless and pervasive across multiple publications, not just one or two, but seemingly everywhere you look online. Now this video has sparked intense debate across social media, with people taking very different sides on what is actually happening here, because some folks believe this theory completely and think there is a coordinated effort to damage Hailey and Justin's reputation, while others are pointing fingers in different directions trying to figure out who would benefit from such a campaign. One of the most controversial aspects of this whole situation is that some people have directly blamed Selena Gomez fans for supposedly orchestrating or at least amplifying these negative stories about the Biebers, and this accusation has created even more tension between different fan bases who are already known for having complicated dynamics with each other. The reality of how tabloid media actually works is that when someone is trending or going viral for any reason whatsoever, these publications absolutely pile on with as many stories as they can possibly generate, because each headline with that person's name becomes a potential click, and clicks translate directly into advertising revenue and website traffic. This is not unique to Justin and Hailey, because the exact same thing happens to Kylie Jenner when she is in the news cycle, or to Selena Gomez when something about her is trending, or to literally any celebrity who finds themselves at the center of public attention for whatever reason, and media outlets know exactly what they are doing when they flood their sites with these stories. When someone is already being discussed heavily on social media platforms like Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, the tabloids recognize that as an opportunity to maximize engagement, and they will publish every possible angle and variation of the story they can think of to capture as much of that traffic as possible, and this is just standard operating procedure for these businesses. So while it might feel coordinated and intentional in the sense that there are suddenly dozens of stories all appearing at once, the more likely explanation is that these outlets are simply following the money trail and publishing whatever they think will get the most clicks during that particular moment when public interest is already heightened. The idea that Selena Gomez fans are somehow breaking into newsrooms or controlling what gets published by major media corporations is frankly absurd, because these are billion-dollar companies with their own editorial processes and business incentives, and they make decisions based on what will generate revenue, not based on what random fans on social media want them to publish. That being said, fans of any celebrity definitely contribute to the overall conversation and narrative by engaging with certain stories and sharing them widely and expressing their opinions loudly, which in turn signals to media outlets that there is an appetite for more content on that particular topic, but that is very different from actually controlling the content itself. During the time period when these headlines were appearing, there was genuinely a lot of speculation about whether Justin and Hailey were having marital problems, because they were photographed separately on multiple occasions, and there were various reports from unnamed sources suggesting tension, and the public was naturally curious about whether these stories had any truth to them. The media coverage during that period definitely felt intense and relentless, with new stories appearing almost daily about potential splits or problems or family interventions. And for people who support Justin and Hailey, this constant barrage of negative headlines understandably felt overwhelming and possibly unfair, especially if the stories were exaggerated or based on flimsy evidence. However, blaming one specific fan base for the actions of massive media corporations does not actually address the root issue, which is that tabloid journalism operates on a business model that incentivizes sensationalism and speculation regardless of accuracy, because controversy and drama generate more engagement than positive feel-good stories do. The timing of why this particular video has resurfaced and gone viral again months after it was originally posted is interesting, because it suggests that these tensions between different fan communities have not died down at all, and that people are still very invested in defending their favorite celebrities and trying to understand or explain negative coverage. Social media has fundamentally changed how celebrity news spreads, because now a story can go from a tabloid headline to a viral tweet to millions of people seeing and discussing it within a matter of hours, and this rapid amplification means that celebrities are under more constant scrutiny than ever before in history. For Justin and Hailey, specifically, their relationship has always attracted intense public interest, partly because of Justin's history with Selena and partly because both of them are famous in their own right, and partly because their relationship developed relatively quickly in the public eye, which naturally led to speculation and commentary. The fact that Justin is one of the biggest pop stars in the world means that anything connected to his personal life automatically becomes news, and Hailey, being a model and influencer with her own substantial following, means she brings her own media attention to the equation, and when you combine those two factors, you get a relationship that tabloids absolutely love to cover. Every time they are photographed together or separately, every social media post they make or do not make, every event they attend or skip becomes potential fodder for speculation and analysis, and this level of scrutiny would be exhausting for anyone to deal with, regardless of whether the coverage is positive or negative. The question of whether tabloids were deliberately trying to damage their reputation or whether they were simply following standard practices of sensational journalism is difficult to answer definitively, because both things can be true simultaneously, in the sense that tabloids always sensationalize everything while also potentially crossing lines into unfair or inaccurate reporting. What we know for certain is that during that particular time period in April and the months surrounding it, there was an enormous amount of coverage suggesting marital problems, and much of it was based on anonymous sources or speculation rather than confirmed facts directly from Justin or Hailey themselves or their official representatives. Media literacy is really important here, because consumers of celebrity news need to understand that not everything published by tabloids is accurate or verified, and that these outlets have financial incentives to publish attention-grabbing headlines, even if the actual story behind the headline is much less dramatic than it appears. The cycle works like this. Tabloids publish speculative stories. Fans react strongly, either defending their favorites or criticizing the other side. That engagement signals to tabloids that there is appetite for more similar content, so they publish even more stories, which generates more engagement, and the cycle continues feeding itself. Breaking this cycle requires either fans choosing not to engage with speculative negative content or tabloids deciding to prioritize accuracy over clicks, which seems unlikely given their business model, or celebrities themselves speaking out to correct false narratives, though that approach can sometimes backfire by giving more attention to the stories. Justin and Hailey have generally kept their personal life relatively private compared to some other celebrity couples, and they do not typically respond to tabloid speculation, which is probably a wise strategy, even though it means rumors can sometimes spread unchecked without being directly addressed. The accusation that gets thrown around about Selena's fans orchestrating negative press is not only unfounded, but also ignores the fact that Selena herself has been subject to intense and often unfair media scrutiny throughout her entire career, and her fans have watched her deal with invasive coverage for years. Pitting fan bases against each other ultimately serves no productive purpose, because it just creates more animosity and conflict, while the actual issue, which is problematic tabloid journalism practices, continues unchanged regardless of which celebrity is being targeted at any given moment. The truth is that every major celebrity deals with periods of intense media focus that can feel overwhelming and unfair, and this includes Selena and Justin and Hailey and Kylie and basically anyone else who reaches a certain level of fame, because that is unfortunately just how the entertainment media ecosystem currently operates. What would be more useful than blaming fans would be having honest conversations about media ethics and about how consumers can be more critical and thoughtful about which stories they choose to engage with and share, because ultimately tabloids publish what people click on, and if people stopped clicking on speculative negative content, there would be less incentive to produce it. The power dynamics in celebrity media are complicated because celebrities benefit from media attention when it is positive and helps their careers, but suffer when the attention becomes negative or invasive and they have limited control over which type of coverage they receive at any given time. For Hailey specifically, she has faced unique challenges being in a relationship that many people have strong pre-existing opinions about, and she has been compared to Justin's ex constantly, which is a difficult position for anyone to be in regardless of how famous or successful they are in their own right. The narrative that tabloids were specifically targeting Hailey to make Selena look good by comparison does not entirely hold up, because tabloids have also published plenty of negative or invasive content about Selena over the years, and they are generally equal opportunity when it comes to sensationalizing anyone's personal life. What is more accurate to say is that tabloids recognized there was public interest in the Justin-Hailey-Selena dynamic, and they exploited that interest by publishing as much content as possible from every possible angle to capture traffic from all sides of the conversation. The fact that this video from April is going viral again in November shows that these tensions have not resolved and that people are still trying to make sense of what happened during that period and whether the coverage was fair or manipulated or simply business as usual for tabloid media. Moving forward, the best approach for fans who care about any of these celebrities is probably to be more skeptical of tabloid headlines and to remember that most of these stories are designed to provoke emotional reactions rather than to inform accurately, and that applies regardless of which celebrity the story is about. Media outlets will continue to publish whatever generates engagement because that is their business model, and getting angry at other fan bases for that reality does not change the underlying incentive structure that drives these publications to sensationalize everything they possibly can. The conversation around this video has also highlighted how social media allows old content to suddenly become relevant again months or even years after it was originally posted, because all it takes is one person resharing something and suddenly it can reach millions of new viewers who treat it as breaking news. This phenomenon means that narratives can be relitigated repeatedly and that celebrities may find themselves dealing with waves of attention about the same issues multiple times, rather than the story just fading away after the initial coverage cycle, which was more common in pre-social media eras. For anyone watching the situation unfold, the key takeaway should be that tabloid coverage is driven by profit motives and public interest rather than by any particular agenda for or against specific celebrities, and that blaming other fans for that coverage is both inaccurate and unproductive. Every celebrity deserves to have their privacy respected and to not have their personal relationships picked apart constantly by media outlets, and that includes Justin and Hailey and Selena and everyone else who finds themselves in the spotlight, whether they sought that attention or not. The cycle of speculation and reaction and more speculation will likely continue as long as there is public interest and media outlets that profit from that interest, but individual consumers can make choices about what content they engage with and whether they want to contribute to that cycle. Thank you so much for being here with me today and for being part of this incredible community where we can discuss these topics thoughtfully, and I hope you found this breakdown helpful in understanding what is really happening behind these viral stories. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you are subscribed, because we are here every day bringing you the most interesting conversations, and I cannot wait to connect with you again very soon in the next one.